Alright, so this is my turbine. This is the old one actually. You can see that the gears, you see that they're quite worn on the side profile here. So it was no longer propelling the unit forward. What you want to do first, obviously, is take it apart. You take off the blue cover. There's 3 screws. 1, 2, there, and then third one here. Alright, so your cover's off. Then take the lid off, or the top plate off. And then here is the new turbine. I'm going to show you how to replace this. But you can see that these gears are really, they work well. So what you want to do is take the wheels off. Then you want to pry off the end caps with a flathead screwdriver. Right, pry off the end caps. Just get in there with that and then pop it off. Be gentle. These are brittle plastic. Then you take off your little plate. Then the wheel. To take the wheel off, just press on the red part. This red part is part of the unit, so you want to hold that and then pull on the wheel to wiggle that off. And then once you have the wheels off, then you can start working on getting the axle out and the axle clip off. Alright, this turned out to be sketchier than I thought, and excuse my voice, I got a little bit of a cold. But I just wanted to film this because when you first take the top off the Aquanaut, you have this axle clip here, which needs to come off because this kind of prevents the axle from slipping out. With this piece out, put a screwdriver in here and you can tap out the axle. Tap it out gently. Comes out there, and I'll use some pliers to pull it out the rest of the way. But this clip again needs to come out first because this clip covers that axle. It doesn't allow the axle to pass through, so it kind of partially blocks this hole here. So the axle is like right there at the opening. It's not coming out any further because this clip blocks it, so basically it holds the axle from slipping out. The thing is, this clip is very brittle, and mine was in there very sticky. So I used 2 screwdrivers to just, as gently as possible, pry this thing up. And it did not sound good, did not look good, but it popped out, and I think it's still intact, but it made me nervous because this is probably, I want to say about 5 years old now. Okay, so another tip, I only pulled the axle out far enough until it cleared the turbine. So you can see, or maybe you can't see, but the axle is right here. So it's still holding these gears in here. So if you don't pull all the way out, it's just a lot less to have to reassemble when you're done. Only pull it out enough to clear the turbine so you can get the turbine out of here. So there's the old turbine. And then let's look at the new turbine. About this new turbine, it is aftermarket. It's not Hayward, but it seems to be pretty good. Like sorry for the dog. If I feel these and the weight of this, this actually feels a bit heavier. I'm sure it's 3D printed, but these spindles feel pretty tough. So I'll link this in the description in case you're interested in getting one. I think it was like $10, so not very spendy. Okay, I put the spindle in, and then I gently tapped in the axle back in through the spindle. It needs to go in a little bit further. This should be just slightly recessed by 1 millimeter or 2. But before I do that, I want to put this clip back in. So the clip has like a little nub here that's going to go in there. Then I will tap the axle in the rest of the way. Just use don't use the hammer, but maybe use like a rubber mallet, or I use the wooden end of this just to kind of gently tap that very fragile feeling piece of plastic in there. It should be flush, so it should be flush there. Make sure your axle here is back in the hole. If this axle is out at all, it'll prevent this from going back in. So make sure that these axles are seated correctly. Again, don't pound this one in all the way yet. Get this back in. Now that this is back in, then I can come over here and give this a couple taps to you want to just get it flush with the black plastic there. And then you can verify your work if you come over to the other side and look in the hole here. You can see that the plastic clip, it probably won't show up in the video very well, but in this hole it's partially covered now by that plastic clip. So the axle can't come out this way. It's like blocked. And then that's it. The only other thing to do is to put the turbine rotors back on, or what do you call these things, the little flappy dealies. Put those back on, and they're going to face this way, like that. Okay, so the curved side facing forward, almost like a wave rolling into shore. These are the same both sides really, so it doesn't matter like which one you put on. Just go ahead and load that up with all these. Just this slide on there. Easy repair, but the axle and then this thing. So the axle can be a bit sticky sometimes. Again, it's a 5-year-old unit. And then this clip is really, it feels looser now, so I think from now on, if I take it out again, it'd come off pretty easily. But man, that first time, just go really slowly. I had the screwdriver in here, all right? I had one there, I left that there, and I had another one in here. And I just gently, slowly pried this off. This end was already loose, so this is where it's sticking. So just be gentle, pry it off slowly. And then just put the wheels back on, put the cover back on, and you're good to go. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll be happy to reply. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again real soon.